All right, so we're going to deal with a kind of unpleasant topic in regards to bees here this evening. So basically, we're going to deal with what's called a deadout. That's where your hive dies and the bees didn't overwinter or whatever happened, and basically they're all toast. So you have to clean out and deal with the hives. So I'm going to show you how we deal with that here. Okay, so this is the hives that we had. Obviously, the lids are off of them right now, which had nothing to do with them dying, but I removed them about 5 minutes ago. Bees have been dead for a couple of months, and this whole entire area has been buried under a ton of snow, so I haven't been able to get out here and really access them. So snow's melted, it's all good. Unfortunately, the bees didn't make it for whatever reason, so we're actually going to assess that right now. So we're going to pick these hives apart and try and figure out exactly what might have caused them to die. So I'm guessing it wasn't a lack of insulation. There is just a ton of insulation packed around this thing. That can be a touchy subject with some beekeepers. So this is what I do. I'm just reporting on what I do here. So let's take a look at the frame. So this is the top frame, and there's absolutely nothing in here. There's no honey. There's no dead bees in there, so that's totally fine. So we're actually going to go into the next box down, and I'm going to focus on the center. And there we go. There's my old cluster of bees. And unfortunately, this is two things. This is damp, which isn't really a good thing because that can breed mold. And also, it just weakens the equipment. This is so stuck in here. I'm actually going to need to set this down and pull it out. Okay, so that was a pain in the butt to remove, so no problem there. Okay, so yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so unfortunately, that's actually a pretty sad situation. So basically, when you see the bees have kind of shoved themselves into the little holes there, basically it means they've either starved or they've been frozen out by the super cold temperatures, which, to be perfectly honest with you, we had negative 19 degrees here with almost negative 48-degree wind chill, so I'm not terribly surprised about this result. Still sad, though, because you still see you got a whole bunch of nice honey right there. If you press it in, that's, perfectly good right there. So very sad. Yeah, the cluster of bees didn't cut it. So my thought with this is probably two things. One, we had a bear attack in the fall where a bear came in before I had this cage up and it bashed apart the hives, scattered these pieces all throughout my yard, all over the place. It was pretty annoying. Fortunately, though, I was able to find the bees. I was able to scoop them all up with the queen, put them back in the hives, and that was pretty kosher. But unfortunately, their numbers were severely reduced. It destroyed their honey stores. It destroyed a lot of the larvae that they had, which is part of what the bear actually really wants to eat. They want to eat the larvae. So had the best season I've ever had so far. And, nature does its thing and comes and, just bashes you up a little bit. So lesson learned, should have put the cage up, but I didn't do that. So lesson learned there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find the queen in this rubble here, which I probably can't do, but it's always worth a look just to see if maybe there was a unique thing with her being missing. But if you find her, you pretty much know exactly what happened, which unfortunately seems like they starved due to lack of food stores, which is annoying because I also fed them a tremendous amount of food after the bear attack just to replenish their stores a little bit. But unfortunately, I think they just ran out of time. So sad, but I'll follow up here in a minute. So you can see a big old pile of them right down there, which is, very sad to see. But pretty much everything I'm seeing is indicative of they probably just froze out and ran out of food. The thing of it is, there is a ton of honey in there for them to eat, but unfortunately the food needs to be fairly close to them. It has to be centered a certain way, and to be honest, even if they ate all of this stuff, that wouldn't have been enough for the season. So the bear attack really did a number on my hive, which is very sad, but it is what it is. So I will wrap up with you guys here in a minute and do a follow-up, and we'll do a deeper dive into the equipment and breaking down. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up all of this stuff and just bring it back into the barn there and clean it up and get it ready for the bees, which will be coming in a couple of days. So thanks for watching. Okay, another shot before we go in here. I actually just wanted to show you all of these bees right here. Unfortunately, these guys are all toast. Yeah, but those are all bees. Kind of gives you a sense of the scale of you know, what you're losing if you don't really do a good job of keeping these guys happy and healthy. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to set them up well enough anyway to survive the winter, which is unfortunate. But you know, this is reality. This is part of keeping animals and you know, trying to keep and maintain livestock. It's part of the deal. Sometimes you lose them, but you know, you do your best to learn the lessons gained from that loss, and you know, you try and do better next time. So sad, but I'll show you the cleanup process here in a minute. Okay, so fortunately we've got everything back in here, so now the cleanup process can begin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the hive tool to scrape off all of this built up wax and the you know, excess debris that's in there. This one is pretty bad right here. This is the bottom board. This is totally rotted out. I really pushed this one a little too hard this season. I probably should have fixed it a little bit sooner, but here we are. So I am going to just take this and repair it. What I'll probably do is I'll probably rip off everything off of here, reuse the screen, and use some scrap wood that I have in the rest of the barn to fix and replace this. But it's nice because you have the original pieces. You can peel them off. You can trace the shape and exact size that they are without having to do all kinds of measuring, and you can just kind of reset them that way. So it's going to be a project, but that's what you have to do. So I will do another video on that another day. Yeah, that's kind of the end of that. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thanks for watching. You know, not a super fun topic when it comes to keeping bees. You know, the fun part is really, you know, taking care of them, getting in there, checking on the hive when they're nice and alive, and obviously getting the honey. But this is part of it too. So if you get into beekeeping, you're going to have to deal with that. So this is how I deal with it. You know, you try and your best to just learn from the mistake that you made. You know, if you're the beekeeper, that's more or less your fault. You know what I mean? You have to own that, but you have to take action on it. You have to make sure that you do your very best to make sure that the next season you don't repeat the same mistakes over and over. So hoping to learn from this myself and continue on my journey of learning how to keep bees the best that I can. So thank you guys for watching. See ya.